paradigm. Hey sister, can you tell me what's on your mind? That's all you have to spend this time. I ain't a gold digger, but I'm not about that life. You're talking rich game, I'm speaking legacy. So when you talk, you're not understanding me. On a cloud chase, but it ain't for me. Securing backs, but it ain't for me. I'm buying buildings, I'm buying J's too, but I ain't buying one while I'm written from you. Wealth for generations won't get caught on your new plantation. Teaching my seeds to sow when they're reap, praying they have more than their souls to keep when I'm gone. My truth carries on, so I made $1, spent $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I make $1, invest $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I.
They told me go to school, said it was the only way, but they never told me how much I had to pay. Now these bills pile up every damn day. Got me curving this shit, you know, Sally Mae. Can't knock my parents though, get everything they should. You living in a system that's not any good. Let's break the cycle, I'm reclaiming my time. I ain't dwelling in the past, I'm just skipping at the line. Ain't gonna front like I don't like the nice things, yeah. But I need more commas in my savings, yeah. I want it all, 40 acres and a mule plus more. Crypto, Bitcoin, any coin. I'll invest in the culture, I'ma buy back the hood. So when you see me glowing up, it's because I should.
Made $1, spent $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I make $1, invest $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I.
Money making Mitch. Come on, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money. Even Ray Charles can see you got money. Really making this money, really making money, man. You understand? It ain't just about the money.
Made $1, spent $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I make $1, invest $1. Make the money, but the money don't make me. Being rich doesn't make you wealthy. I just wanna build a legacy, so I.
There it is. There it is. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Financial Freedom Series. Finally, it is time, y'all. It's money season. But before we even get into it, man, I want to take extra preliminaries. Let me just give a quick shout out to my boy Kirk, who's producing this whole thing, man. That boy's fire. All right. If you're trying to produce something, link up with this guy. He's been putting some good stuff together. But anyways, look, guys, I am super pumped about this Financial Freedom Series. Now, look, when I've talked to hundreds of families over the past year about seeing people win with money, and one of the things that's been consistent in the African-American community is our people want freedom. Our people want to be able to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it. They're tired of just doing some 9-to-5 they don't love about. The old days of just working because you got to provide for somebody else solely, even if you hate your job. That's a fallacy. And I want to make sure that we could be good stewards with our money and we could put ourselves in position to win. And there's no better time than now, money season in April. Now, look, we all know this is a time to get your tax returns. This is a time spring is here. The weather is nice. People are ready to go out. People making plans for summer vacation. But I want to change the conversation. It's not just about what you're doing this summer, but it's are you putting yourself in a position to win and become freedom. And so, look, I didn't want to do this by myself. I wanted to make sure that we got some of the best minds. And look, and here's my criteria of gauge. A, are you an expert in your domain? B, do you have an affection and care for my people? And then C, man, do you have a heart that reflects the Lord? And so I combed through the people before we decide to have them come up. And I wanted to start with this topic, real estate, because look, I tell you, man, look, I'm a real estate owner. I own 20 plus doors, and real estate has been the engine for my financial situation. And I believe it could be the engine of y'all's. And so we wanted to kick this off right, but I was very particular in who I had come out. And I wanted to bring a guy who I've done many deals with, a guy who actually sold me my first home, someone who is, I consider more than just a partner. He's a friend of mine. And that's this guy named Issa Musharbash. So look, he's going to talk to y'all for the next several minutes or so on how you could obtain freedom looking at real estate. And he's going to share with you his story on how it's changed his personal life. And so I want y'all to lean in, get up in the chat right now. Matter of fact, if you're in the chat, just tell me your name and where y'all from, and then type freedom. All right, type freedom. When my man's here, I want you to be as responsive as possible. Let him know you're here. Let him fill y'all in the comments. Get y'all questions together, because when he's done his presentation, we're going to lean in with Q&A. Anyways, I'm going to see y'all soon. Make ways for my guy, an entrepreneur, a leader, man of God, Issa Musharbash. I'll see y'all soon.
Wow, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much, Joseph, for what you're doing. I am inspired by your passion to see people free financially. What good is freedom if it's not financial as well, right? Like you could be free in your spirit. You could be free from anxiety. You could be free from depression. And if you don't carry that freedom into your finances, you're limiting the things that God can do in you and through you. So I'm excited that I was invited. What's up, guys? Thank you for the love. I'm going to share with you how I purchased my very first home and how that years later translated into real financial freedom. Real estate is amazing. It's just amazing how you could buy something that's tangible. Get your hands on something tangible, some land, some real estate, and just hold on to it. While you hold on to it, you could make money from it. It's called cash flow. You could make it cash flow, or you could just live in it. And instead of paying rent, you're taking your finances and you're paying for your home through a mortgage and taxes and insurance. And as you hold on to that thing long enough, crazy things could happen in your benefit. So this was the year 2010. I'm going to take you back 12 years now. 2010, I was working for Bank of America. It's my 5th year killing it at Bank of America, promotion after promotion. By the grace of God, I have learned that I'm really good at this thing called sales at Bank of America. And I just was having a fun time educating people on personal finance, on the use of credit cards, mortgages, and landed with small business in the small business department before I decided to get into real estate. But while I was working there, my wife and I, we got married. We got married 2009. We had placed an offer on a single family townhouse in Jersey City shortly before we got married. We were hoping that if we could just close before the wedding, this would be our forever home. And it was just impossible. The lender told us that it's impossible. We cannot guarantee a closing before your wedding. If that is what you want, we cannot guarantee that. What we can tell you is you are approved. Only God knows, it could take 60 days. It could take 30 days after your wedding day. So I pulled the plug on that single family home because I could not get that guarantee. I did not want to deal with the stress of getting married, getting on an airplane, enjoying a 10-day honeymoon, and really not enjoying it because I'm not sure what I'm coming back to. I'm not sure if we're closing. I didn't want to be disrupted on my honeymoon with paperwork and give pay stubs and chase all kinds of things for our lender. I wanted to close before the wedding. They couldn't guarantee. I pulled the plug, and I was so happy I pulled the plug. Why? I was able to get a rental for 1 year. I got us what we're looking for. We were able to start setting up before the wedding. I took the stress out temporarily. And then I thought a single family home is a good way to start, but the better way to start is with multi-family homes. So I started to zero in after that, after the honeymoon. I started to zero in on 2 family homes. In 2010, I had I found a house for $280,000. I put in an offer at $260,000. And I wanted $10,000 from the seller. I know this sounds crazy for a market like this, but back in 2010, you could do this. I asked for $10,000 from the seller for my closing costs, okay, to cover my closing costs. Not all of them, but a good chunk. The seller came back countered at $268,000. I got the house for $268,000 or so. I was able to get $10,000 back. And then during inspection, I found out that the roof is old. The roof, we're going to need a new roof, man. I mean, we may not need that new roof right away, but we will certainly need it at some point. There was no evidence of leaks, but there was the economic life was over. Excuse me, guys. This is when I get too excited and don't stop. I need a breath. That was my first home. It was in Bayonne, New Jersey, a 2-family home. Why 2-family? Why would you want to be a landlord? You just got married. You want to be a landlord? My mortgage payment was about $2,200. Let's do some math here. Okay, $2,200. All right. $2,200 a month for my mortgage. This, sorry guys, forgive me. $2,200, taxes, insurance, mortgage. Mortgage includes principal and interest. In that $2,200, I was used to paying rent, $1,300. So why would I jump from $1,300 a month, 3-bedroom, to a payment that's $1,000 more, right? So here's what happens. When you have a 2-family house, the idea is that you get the rental income, right? So if the rental income, in my case, I had a unit that's worth $1,200. What I had to do is come out of pocket another $1,000. So it was actually cheaper than rent. And it starts there, but I wish I could tell you that that's it. That's all the benefit. You're gonna pay a little bit less than what you're paying in rent when you get a multifamily, but no, it's more than that. It's more than that. So every time you pay your mortgage, the principal that you owe, the money you borrowed, it goes down. So as time goes by, if your house doesn't change in value, just stays the same, you're getting equity because these monthly payments you're making, unlike rent that's paying for someone else's lifestyle or someone else's retirement, when you're paying your mortgage, you're paying off the principal. You're paying interest, that's the money they make, but you're also paying the principal, and it just slices it down month by month. So when the years pass by, you look at your balance and you're like, okay, so I built some equity with these monthly payments. So that's the beauty of it. You have a lower monthly payment because you're living in there. I wouldn't say you're cash flowing yet because you live there, but your monthly payment is lower. You're building equity, and that's beautiful. And let me tell you this: I bought my first home with 3.5% down. I mean, my down payment was not even $10,000. And so if you're buying a home for the very first time, okay, because I this is where it starts. It starts with your first one. If you do the first one right, it could set you up for life, and you could buy it with less money down. I know we're in a competitive market. I know for those that are currently shopping right now, realize that they have to pay a little above asking and fight and maybe put more money down. But do not miss the point of purchasing your first property. You could do it with as little as 3.5% down an FHA mortgage. That's how I did it. I didn't have the money. I'm a newlywed. I got married young. I mean, I was 23 and a half when I got married. And I got my first home at 24, the very next year. And so I didn't have money like that. I didn't have the freedom, the financial freedom that this seminar is all about. And so you take advantage of what's available, and there are opportunities for you to get into the game. And so I bought my first property. I now have a house that's worth $270,000 or so. By the way, I was able to negotiate $10,000 for the roof. That's when I was choking up earlier. It's nice. It's nice. I got that in cash. I was able to put a new roof and not worry about it. It was really, really good. Solid house. It needed a lot of cosmetics, but things I could manage. And look, in the beginning, it's okay for you to roll up your sleeves and do a little paint job, rip up some rugs, rent the sanding machine to try to restore some floors. That's absolutely okay when you're buying your first property, you're learning certain things. And so rather than hiring a contractor, maybe overpaying or not being able to gauge what needs to be done, how much it costs. So I went ahead and some of the things I've done with family and friends. I remember for the first 2 weeks, we had a lot of people over, friends, family members, and they would just help. You know, we got a whole dumpster load of garbage out of that place to make it livable. And so I lived there. So this is the year 2010. I sold that house 8 years later, 2008. Before I moved out, before I sold it, I moved out. Okay. Maybe 3 years in, I wanted a single family home. And I was managing a property, a boatload of properties, and one of them was a single family home. And I'm like, man, I want to live in a single family home. Now I'm an owner. I have a property. If I could get my unit leased, I could go and put a little more money out of pocket and get a single family, get a little more privacy. And so I did that. The property I was managing, I got a really good deal. The owner loved me. He said, look, you could have it. This is the price point. I just need my garage. If you let me keep my garage, I'll give you a good deal. Gave me a good deal. It turned out that the rental income I was getting from the unit I was living in was exactly the amount of rent I was paying for this single family home, which was nice. So now you have a 2-family home that's paying for your single family home. I didn't own it. It was a temporary thing. I just needed the privacy while I'm searching for the next one. But now I have if we look at just that house by itself, now I have a 2-family house. I have a $2,200 payment, right? And then I have rents. So let's pull up your calculators real quick. So if you have a $2,200 payment and you're getting $1,200 from one unit, and you could raise that rent to like $1,450. So, but let's say you keep it at the $1,200, because as time passes, you know, these rentals go up. Right now, that same rental I rented for $1,200 today goes for $1,950. So $1,200, the unit above $1,900 at the time. Right now, that's going for way more, maybe $20. But we're getting $3,100 in income. $3,100. Okay, you subtract the 22 mortgage, taxes, insurance. Now there's a cash flow of $900. The way I saw it is I entered into a single family house and I had now an extra $900 in monthly income. Now, I'm not saying that the $900 is to be spent, right? Because you got to make sure you're saved up, that you have your emergency funds. If the boiler goes out, that's a quick $1,200. If something happens with heating, that could be a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. So you always want to have that cushion in place for emergencies, and you want to have a good team around you. You want a good electrician. Get familiar with who is the best electrician in your town. Who's the best guy, the best girl that could take care of those needs that you're gonna have. Tenants are gonna call you, my toilet, I can't. You need someone to quickly run there. You need a plumber. You need an electrician. You need a handyman. Find out. Start interviewing people. Talk to people and build a list. You're gonna need that when you become a landlord. Okay, so. Back to this house, this 2-family house. A couple years later, I had went and now left that single family rental and purchased a single family home, and that one was a lot bigger. It had an in-ground pool. This is what I was looking for, and by the grace of God, there's a whole story on that. I won't get into for now, but that's where I live right now, and it's my dream home. And I still owned the 2-family house. But in 2008, I needed to reorganize. And this is the beauty of the financial freedom. I thought I have a house. I have a 2-family house. I'm getting $900 a month. I thought that was the freedom. And it is. It is, because there's extra income, but there's more. Now I sell that house. I bought it. You know, let's round up to $270, and I sold it for $478,000. I made $200,000 8 years later. How do you earn that type of money any other way? Like I have to sell so many houses. I need to be like the top real estate agent working year round to try to make that type of money. But real estate ownership affords for you to do that. Imagine you could purchase a property, hold on to it just for that, just sit on it. Just sit on it, collect the rents, pay your mortgage. If you got a little extra, $500 a door is ideal. That's the goal. Like if you could get to $500 a door, you have 2 units, you take home $1,000 after the bills are paid. That is ideal. I mean, that should be your target. If you can get 600, 700, you're good. You're super good. But in most cases, you want to try to get that $400 to $500. 500 is amazing. Joe, I don't know how you're doing on your average per door, but 500 is like that key. That's it's worth it. It's worth saving. It gets you excited, so you can do it again and again and again. But it doesn't stop there. Now, by the way, I'm not going to get into the tax benefits because I'm not a certified public accountant, but I would want you to hook up with your CPA and ask them, what's the advantage? How would my tax life look like when I own real estate? Do I get write-offs? How does it work? Depreciation. Ask about depreciation. It's really, really good. But here's where I want to go with this. And this is why this is so life-changing. Now I have $200,000. I have options. That is freedom. That is the true freedom we're talking about, the financial freedom. When you're able to purchase something, nurture it, sell it, and now there's a substantial amount of money at your disposal. You have the freedom, the financial freedom to do what you want. And I don't advise that you take money like this in that type of sum and just start to fund some of your crazy fantasies. Like, I'm going to go to Atlantic City or Las Vegas and just live my life for 30 days and come back broke. Do not do that. Let's reinvest. Let's double it up. Let's do 2 houses. Let's do 3 houses with that money. Let's get 2 more units, next to 2 more units, next to 2 more units. Let's wait. Let's wait another 5-6 years and then turn that into 600,000-700,000. Let's not blow it. Let's reinvest. Let's do more. Let's do more. Joe didn't get to 20 doors just buying, selling, taking the money and blowing it on fun. He just kept strategizing. Legacy. I need to keep thinking. And so he went from 1 door to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 20, and skies are the limit in the United States. This is what makes capitalism so amazing. This is what makes real estate so amazing. It offers the option for you to do what you desire. Now, check this out. I have a heart for missions, for ministry. I have a heart to do things for the Lord. He transformed my life. I was an immigrant boy from Jordan that was rejected, that was bullied, that just hated myself. I hated my life. And the Lord rescued me, and not for nothing, so that I could be an agent of transformation. And so I use real estate first to live the dream life that I have, but not just that, to be a blessing to others. And every one of us that's joining has some kind of call, has a sense of calling. You know, it comes from God. It's in your DNA. Maybe he rescued you from something. Maybe there's something that is a burden to you. Joseph has a burden to help people, but without the funding, without the financial freedom, he can't go there. He can't fund scholarships for kids that need an opportunity for better education if he did not have the financial sense and backing to support it. So do it. Do it for your ministry. Do it for your calling. Do it for your non-for-profit. Do it for the next generation. Do it for legacy. Right? So when I did that, I had $200K, and that gives you options. $200,000. I didn't have to work for it. I was getting paid every month from the cash flow. This is on top. This is on top of my cash flow year after year after year. And then I get this bonus called equity. It's amazing. Real estate tends to keep going up historically. Year after year after year after year. And if you look at every millionaire, every billionaire, you will see that the overwhelming majority of people getting to that $1 million mark and up did it through real estate. So do not discount real estate. Take this whole series seriously. Take the debt reduction, take on the stocks, take on the mindset. Don't forget real estate. It is a core fundamental, right? So now you get options. You there's so much you can do. But let me just say one thing, if I could squeeze it in before you stop me and ask me questions. There's this beautiful thing, because I know you're thinking about it. You're like, Issa, but that 200,000, guess what? You're getting taxed to death. I know you're getting taxed to death. That's why I don't want to get in real estate. That's why I don't want to make all that money, because the government is going to take half of it. And that 200 is going to look like 100, and you are wrong. You are wrong. As an individual, if you live in the property for 2 years in the last 5 years, listen to me carefully. If you purchase a property and you could live in it in 2 years, just 2 years over the last 5, live there 2 years. I don't care if it's the first 2 years or the second 2 years or the last 2 years. But live there for 2 years over the last 5 years, and you get a $250,000 capital gains forgiveness. Like you could earn up to $250,000 and not worry about capital gains. If you're married, it's $500,000. And look, if you're savvy, if you're single and you're crazy like me, I'm not single and crazy now, but I'm married and I have 3 children. I can't move around so much. But for those that are single, do this crazy thing. Buy property, live in it for 2 years, sell it, get that cash out, live in another one, get the cash out, tax free. You could do it for the rest of your life. You just got to live there a minimum of 2 years. There's no restriction. It's $500,000. That means if I sell a property and I make $250,000, I don't have to worry about it. If I make $300,000, I mean, after expense, after the cost of purchasing, the cost of renovating, the cost of everything else that goes into real estate, including closing costs. It's crazy. You would, and I make, let's say, $300,000. I don't have to worry about the first $250,000. As a single person, if I'm married, you don't worry about it. But you worry about that $50,000. Now you just deal with capital gains on $50,000 when you earn $300,000. It's insane. I'm telling you, this is the most. It's liberating not to talk about it. It's more liberating when you talk about it because you lived it, you experienced it. This changes your life, right? This changes your economic life because it starts in your mind and your heart and your spirit. But if you don't take that with you, you don't take it with you into your economy, then you place limits on what you could do in your life. You could place limits on your dreams. And so what happens then? You multiply, get more 2-family house. Eventually you'll say, you know what? I'm going to sell these 2-family. I'm tired of 2-family houses. Give me the 9 units. Give me the 8 units. Give me the 7 units. Give me 16 units. Give me the 30-unit building. All right. I don't know if we have time for this, but when it gets to that level, it gets crazy. When you get deep into real estate and you own real estate and your name says real estate and people trust you in real estate, eventually what you're going to have is you're going to have a whole bunch of people that just want to put their money in your real estate. So what happens with that? What happens when your friends say, hey, Issa, I got like $400,000. You know, it's earning me 0.5%, 1%, but I see you doing real estate. Can you like get me 5 or 6? You could take that and use that as down payments on another 6, 7 properties. If you know what you're doing, you could get so wealthy so quickly. And it's other people's money that you're helping them multiply. It is insane. Somebody tell me to shut up. Tell me my time is up. I see 33 minutes in. I don't know if I got more time, but real estate it only gets better. It only gets better. So cash flow, equity, the tax advantages. We could go on and on. I am in the real estate business. I own a real estate agency in New Jersey, in Georgia. I also have a real estate licensing school. So I help people get into the business in the state of New Jersey and practice as real estate agents. Real estate agents make a boatload of money. They work really hard, but at the closing table, the real estate agent is making more than the attorney times 20. They're making more than all the professionals combined, but they work hard and they find the opportunities and they create opportunities both for the sellers that are getting the big cash out payment like I did, and they create opportunities for the buyers also like me that purchase property in hopes that they're going to capitalize on it. So if you ever want to do real estate in New Jersey, hit me up, talk to me. I did write a book detailing my immigration story. It's called Go Back to Your Country. It's not offensive. It's provocative to get your attention, but it's a book of hope. It's a book that says no matter where you come from, no matter how low it has been in your life, you can accomplish incredible things. And this is available at gobacktoyourcountry.com. It's available everywhere. You can buy it on Amazon if you want, but if you go to our website, gobacktoyourcountry.com, the proceeds from this, a portion of that will go to the Nyamwange Foundation. So I just wanted to put that out there, and this will help us more with scholarships. But it's an incredible story. It's my own story. I tell my immigration story. And so that's available for you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you. There's so much more I could share with you, but we're limited in time. I want to hear you. I want to hear your questions. Let me know what's on your mind. What do you want to know? I think Joe's on mute. So Joe, I see you.
Oh, sorry about that. But I was saying, can you hear me? We're good. Now, what I was saying was, look, man, if the camera was on me, you would have saw me jumping and running around here, man, because you literally took us back to church. You took me to church. I loved the passion. I loved what you brought. You gave us some good gems that are practical. I think people see their story and your story. Let me also let everybody know who's viewing. One of the reasons why I became successful in real estate is because I linked with people like Issa. Issa sold me my first home, my very first home, popped the cherry for me. And I was like, yo, and not only did he sell me the home, but he taught me the ropes. He taught me how you should be thinking about this, how we should be renovating. And look, that house in Jersey City, Issa, we bought it for $190. Yeah, that thing is valued at $700,000 today. And it's mortgage clear, and that bad boy is bringing me $4,000+ every single month. So what Issa's telling you isn't made up. It's not fake. And I'm just like y'all. This is some real stuff. So Issa, man, let me just say thank you so much, man, for sharing your stories. I got a lot of questions. I'm going to ask folks who are listening in. If you have questions, guys, it's not often we get access to someone like Issa in this kind of forum. So don't be shy. Post your questions. I'm going to make sure that we get them on it. Plus his book. We're going to make sure we provide the website in where you can get the book. Proceeds of it is going to go towards scholarships and kids. So this is a good time to do that, man. So all right, Bet. This is my first question, man. You had mentioned something that was critical about building your team, and I want to land on this, man. My question, this is probably more twofold. A, how do you build your team? And B, when is the right time to start building your team? Do I wait till I have a house? Do I start doing that now? If you could shed some light on that, Issa, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I think the earlier the better. And this is, let me give you a trick to quickly build your team. You want someone on your team to do you a favor when it's your turn and it's your renovation. Start early. So we all have friends, right? We all have people that we know that need some kind of work done. Everybody needs a plumber. I mean, when I need a plumber, plumbing is the hardest one. It's the hardest one. I need a plumber. I call everybody. Do you know a plumber? Everybody's looking for a plumber. If you're looking at the last minute when there's the emergency, they're going to hit you with a bill so hard, it's going to crush you. Now, so you start early. How do you help a plumber out? If you know of someone who's a plumber and you build a relationship with them before you have a job, the best way to really build that relationship is recommend them. So start recommending plumbers. Start recommending people to that plumber. And you remind that plumber, remember I send you Angela? Remember I send you Steven? Remember I send you so-and-so? Remember, now it's my turn. This is my house. We're closing in 30 days. Can you come to the inspection and let me know what you need? If you could get the plumber's opinion, and even if you pay the plumber, I'm going to give you $100 just for your 30 minutes, just to come out with the inspector. Come out with the inspector. Just prep me for this. I need to go in ready. If you were to do all this plumbing for me, is it going to be $30,000, $20,000? I need to work this out early. And so you start building them out early, and they later become your team. They don't become your team overnight. Sometimes you're deceived by the plumber. They look good, they show up, but then they screw up the first job, and they screwed up Angela's job, and they screwed up Steven's job, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get out of this plumbing situation. So you interview people, you bring them out, you give them an opportunity as much as you can. Plumbers are very difficult. They're busy. They're always dropping this to go get, and they're chasing contractors. They're chasing money. So relationships are so important. If you could just find out, like, what do they like and who they are and who's their family, and if do they have children, and mingle with them and build relationships with them, you could do much greater things. And difficulties will come when you're dealing with contractors. Why? Because there's surprises. One of the things I hate about construction is the surprises that are hard to mitigate. It's hard with the contractor things out. You begin to you come to a consensus. And so relationships gets you there. When things get tough, those that don't have relationships, guess what? Your electrician is bailing on you. They're leaving you stuck. Your general contractor is going to leave you stuck in the middle of a project where you borrowed money, and that money's expensive, and those payments are due, and there's construction, and you can't move forward, and you just build out the relationships now. Get to know who your contractor is. Get to know, and when it comes to contractors, they get so busy. You need 2, 3, 4. Build out a team so that when Jonathan can't make it because he has 6 jobs, you have Marco, and if Marco can't make it, you have Steven. You follow? And some good ones, some good contractors, they're usually a little bit more pricey. So, and they usually tell you, like, I can't do this until July, and we're in April. So, like, you will eventually get a rhythm with them, and the honest ones are not in a rush to take a deposit and do your job in 3 months. By the way, don't give contractors any money. I don't care. I don't care if they want a 15%, 20% up front. Don't give them money. You buy the material yourself. What do you need? Go to Home Depot. We use the card. Give me the receipt. Let's inspect. The stuff on the receipt is the stuff that's there. You didn't buy some side stuff. You didn't buy some extra plumbing stuff for the other job site. You hold them accountable, right? And then do 1/3 of the job, and I'm going to cut you 1/3 of your payment. Protect yourself even when they are friends, because you don't want the friendships to suffer because of miscommunication. So even with close friends, they get paid. Oh, but Issa, you don't understand. I'm struggling. Like, this will help me. No, it's not going to help you. It's going to help the other project. It's going to help somebody else's project. Your project, it has to get done first. I don't care if you want to work 2 days. Give me 2 days. Show me 2 days of work. I'll give you 2 days of pay. And that's how you manage it. And so you build out those relationships. I know I'm going on and on, but you got to know your people. You got to test them out. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to lose some money on some cases, and you're going to overspend in some places. But when you look at equity, you make it up. You make it all up in equity. So it doesn't hurt to keep freshening up your team. Eventually you have enough properties where they look at you and say, man, if I just stick around Issa long enough, if I stick around Joseph long enough, like, I don't need to I don't need to chase everybody. I got enough work with just Joseph. And that's how you build it out.
Dude, I love it, man. It's so many gems. And here's the facts. There will be mess ups along the way, but that whole trust but verify, that whole inspect, like, you could only really go as far as your team. And so that's why I'm like, yo, if you spend a little bit more time on the upfront, getting the right team, getting the right realtor, getting the right plumber, electrician, the lawyers, you do all that stuff up front, man, it'll save you headache. So good stuff, man. Look, there's a question I want to take this one from Taishia Pitts. She said, would you recommend first-time home buyers to purchase in the current market or hold off for a bit? And the follow-up to that is, Was it difficult living in a two-family home when you initially wanted a single-family home?
Good questions. Good, really good. So in this market, I don't know that I'm beginning to read. I'm beginning to read articles that say of some experts that are predicting it may change in the next few months. So a part of me wants to say, wait, unless there is a deal you can't refuse. So when there is a deal you can't refuse, it doesn't matter what the market is. You just take the deal. Right? If it's an opportunity, I'm talking about a money-making opportunity in real estate. If you're on the market, you're outbidding people, and everybody's going over 50,000 above ask. It's tough to get into that market as a first-time owner. Like if you're already owned a couple of properties, you flip them, and you don't care about overpaying by 150,000. You found what you want. You want what you want. You've made a boatload of money in the past. What's another 150? So what if it drops? So what if I take that risk? Because I've been primed to be able to take that type of risk because now I deserve it. But in the beginning, you want to be very conservative. You don't want to go above ask. So I know that's not what you want to hear when you must buy now. What I would say is beef up your savings so that your down payment could be so big that they will see the legitimacy, the financial legitimacy in your deal greater than the other deal, although the other deal may have a lower down payment, may have a higher price, they may have a lower down payment, but your down payment is bigger, your offer looks stronger. By the way, when you're putting an offer, let me give you one quick tip. If you're in a bidding war, if you're in put your entire down payment up front. You already have it. Put your whole down payment as your initial deposit. It's going in escrow anyway. Why? It shows the seller that you're really serious. Most people are putting $1,000. Now they kind of upgrade it to like $5,000. And I've seen that. Like people are putting $5,000 up front. Like it was $1,000 for like 12 years in a row, and then boom, it just jumped to 5 now. I would say if you're putting in $25,000 as a down payment, it's already in your bank account. Write a check for $25,000. If it's $80,000, write a check for $80,000. Get them excited about your offer, but win with a strong offer as opposed to a very high offer. High doesn't mean strong. High means I don't know. Maybe it's going to fall apart. Maybe their down payment is low. Maybe they can't meet the appraisal issues we're going to run into, right? Maybe they're just giving me a high price just so they could lock me in, and they're going to hit me during the inspection and try to get it back down. Strong offers are always better than higher offers. In some situations where you have no choice, this is like you have to move. You must. It's a job relocation, and you have the money, and you have the. I would say, okay, go for it. Go pay a little more. But the idea of this is you pay less when you buy, and when you sell, you ask for more. I mean, that's how this works. You buy low, you sell high. When you buy an apple, you got to buy it for 40 cents so you can sell it for 80 cents. If you do the opposite, it doesn't work. You can't buy it for 50 cents and sell it for 50 cents. It's not breaking. It sounds like you're breaking even. You're not breaking even. You're losing a lot of time, right? So in a high market, this is for people that plan on living there. When you live in a property, sometimes it doesn't matter like the economics as much as when it's an investment property. So I'll give you a little bit of slack there. Okay, the second part of the question was, would you feel comfortable living there? I got comfortable living there. It's my house. It's not their house. It's my house. It's my rules. It's my house. You are in my house. I'm not in your space. You're in my space. It's my backyard. You got no access to the backyard without permission. You get comfortable because you know what? I don't care about a little bit of noise. I don't care a little bit of, it's a family. They want to raise their kids. They want to live. I don't care about that. Live your life. You're making me rich, baby. You're making me rich. Stay. Eventually, the goal, the purpose outweighs the little bit of discomfort of being a landlord. And you do it in the beginning because it's the best way in. It's the easiest way to get in. A couple years later, you get out, you buy another property, and then you put another tenant, and it starts to work really well for you.
Man, I love it, dude. So many gems, man. And look, people are vibing in the chat. They're speaking of your praises, Issa. I want to bring up another question from my good buddy Eddie. He says, how much cash flow and experience should one have before they start flipping homes?
So, how much cash flow? When we talk about cash flow, we're talking about cash flow from existing homes, existing real estate. So if you're cash, it's usually the opposite. It's usually the opposite. You don't have cash flow, so you actually flip first so that you can buy properties that give you cash flow, because you want to hold on to real estate. The goal is not to sell it. The goal is so that you could get cash flow monthly and equity over a lifetime. So what do you do first? If you could find cheaper properties that are distressed, you purchase them. You force appreciation. You force appreciation through renovation, smart renovation. Sometimes you don't have to take it down to the bone. There's some walls you can save. There's sometimes the cabinets you can hold on to. Just do the trick. Clean up the cabinets. Clean them. Paint them. Change the hardware. Change the countertop. You got a new kitchen. You want to hold on to real estate. So it's difficult to hold on. So I understand you got to flip sometimes. You start with the flip so that you don't have to flip. You understand? Like you don't want to flip. Flipping is a stressful situation, and it looks a lot more glamorous than what it is. It looks a lot more on paper, I bought a property for $130,000. When I'm done with it, it's gonna sell for $250,000. There's a lot of money. There's $120,000, Issa. Well, no, it's not $120,000. It costs you money to acquire it, and it's gonna cost you money to sell it. You gotta deduct all of that. Now you're down to $90,000, but it's gonna cost you $80,000 to fix it. You're gonna make $10,000. You're gonna think you're making $100,000, but when you're done, you're like, "What did I just do? All of this for $10,000? I might as well be a realtor and just sell it and get my $10,000 commission," right? So you don't get into flips because it looks glamorous. That you're going to take a picture and a selfie with a hammer in your hand and tell your friends, like, "Look at me now." I'm telling you, if you got to do it, analyze the deal, buy it really cheap. Get the most expensive, the most conservative. When I say expensive, in the sense of, like, get conservative, get real with the renovation. Oh no, my friend's gonna do this for $10,000, you know, and my other friend, he could do the other thing for $5,000. This is only $15,000. You're dealing with a $60,000 problem. Face it, and then it's gonna tell you whether or not you should buy. And then when you flip, you make a little bit of money. Guess what? You didn't live in the home long enough. You got to pay capital gains. You put it in an LLC. You could get away with this and appreciation, whatever. But flipping is not my favorite thing. I don't like flipping. I flipped. It's just not as glamorous as they make it seem. Hold real estate. If you have to flip so that you could hold, do a few. Get the experience out of it. The education from it could be valuable to how you're going to hold in the future. I know I answer a question with some.
No, I love it. I love it. And Tashi, I hope if you're still listening that answer sufficed. Guys, look, you got to be in the game, right, to win the game. And so if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're not paying attention, you're not going to find sweetheart deals. I can tell you this: good deals come in good market and bad market. Period. Now, I've been fortunate enough to take advantage of some crises, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but look, you got to be, matter of fact, Issa, we just closed our home in Baltimore, and that was at the peak. Baltimore was rising, and I found me a sweetheart deal. And so you got to be in the game. And in order for you to be in the game, you got to be in a position of strength. When he had talked about selling high or selling low, buying high, people who end up doing that is because they're not well positioned in the game. They got no capital, they're struggling, and they find themselves short selling, foreclosure. That's not going to be your story. But anyways, Issa, I love it. I got another question for you, and if you have questions in the audience, just put a Q in front of it so we can track it. But look, some of the folks from here, people from all around the country, but I know some folks who live in New Jersey specifically, and you're a Jersey guy, so I figured this could be more of a softball for you, man. It's crazy in some of these places. Like, it's crazy, expensive. It's like the taxes are high. Jersey City, you know how that's happened. So for people who cannot afford to live in the Manhattan area, how does someone analyze a market in terms of determining, like, they want to start, but they're not trying to drop $1 million on a 2-family. Like what counsel and guidance do you give to those people who want to get started?
All right. And just want to clarify, Joe, are we talking about started in buying their first home where they're going to live and analyze school systems and things like that, or someone that's
investment, someone who says, I'm cool with the multi-unit. I want to get that investment property. Like, you know what I'm saying? That they're okay with living there for a year or two to get the tax, but the sole heart of this purchase is about investing, right?
Yeah.
How do I get that show going?
So if the goal is to invest in the neighborhood, the school systems, you're not going to live there long. Right? If you have small children that got to enter school and that's a big concern, then yeah, check out the schools. Make sure you're comfortable with the schools. Now, here's the thing, though. What matters at the end is the rental market. What are rents going for in that neighborhood? What are the rents going for in that neighborhood? Because you work backwards. Okay, this is how much rent I'm going to generate. I'm going to generate $8,000 in rent from this multifamily. Okay, well, how much of that am I spending on my mortgage, taxes, insurance? How much of that I'm going to spend on management? In the beginning, you don't hire a manager unless you have a crazy job that's high demand and you just don't have the time. So you hire a management company, 5%, 8%, 10%, depends. The less property you have, the more it's going to cost you. The more property you have, you could save a little bit more. But count 10% of that income. So if it's let's $8,000 a month, you got to separate $800 for the property manager. Maybe you can negotiate that down to $700, $600, but count that in there so you don't go in blind, right? And so if you could figure out what the rents are, sometimes they're rented. So it starts there. The exercise starts with the rents, existing rents. You take up the rents, you add every expense you can imagine. It starts with the easy stuff: principal, taxes, insurance, right? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. But how about the water bill? How about the water? You got to put that in there. Water and sewer, usually one bill. Sometimes with a multifamily house, there is a common area. So you have a bill. So be careful when you're dealing with a property that has, let's say, one mega hot water tank on 1 meter for the entire, 2-3 family. Guess what? The tenants are not going to be they're not going to be getting the bill and splitting it. It's on you. So that is an expense you got to count. And then that's a strategy too. That's a strategy for you to know what to do when you get in there. Split them up. Get 3 water tanks. Get everybody to pay their own water, their own hot water, their own gas. So you got to get the expenses down packed. When you have the help of a real estate agent, they'll make sure they look out for expenses that sometimes the sellers don't want to put in there because no one asked. No one asked about it. Okay, you got to do your due diligence. It starts with the rent. So it starts with income minus the expenses. What is left over? Is it negative? Sometimes in rare situations, you may want to buy it with a negative cash flow because there's an opportunity to raise rents, because you're getting it at a good price, because I bought a property that the rents go directly to the mortgage, tax, and insurance. There's really nothing left. But I got like $250,000 in equity. So I'm like, I'm sitting on that. I'm cool with that. It's okay. The important thing is you analyze for cash flow. You have the equity piece, but you start with cash flow because you just don't want to be in a situation where you're putting out of pocket and draining yourself. So if it's renovations you got to do, this tenant moves out, his lease expires in May, I'm going to force appreciation there by adding $300, $400 more in monthly rents, because I'm going to update the bathroom and change the floors and paint the place. you could then create. So you create what it is now, the current situation, and then what your projected situation is going to look like, the projected rental income, the projected expenses, and then you start to analyze and see, is this a good deal? If it's a good deal, you take it. Another thing is you multiply the what you're earning annually from this deal on the money, so you can get the capitalization rate, how much of a return on you're getting on your down payment. When that $80,000 you got to put down, how much are you earning on that? Is it 10%? Are you getting 10, 15% on that 80,000? That is sweet. If you could do that, that is good. That's really good. People love 6%. They love 7%. When you have a boatload of money and you don't know what to do with it, you'll take 4%. Higher quality buildings, better situations, easier management, headache free. But you're getting 3.5%, 4% in Manhattan. Now they're going for 2%. They want 2%. Like, it's crazy. So capitalization rate, that's important. At some point, you measure your deals with a capitalization rate. I know I'm going overtime, but I hope.
Now, Issa, hey, yo, listen, everybody watching in, y'all need to share this, because there's people who are not tuning in that has been living in this rat race, and they need some of this good stuff. Like straight up, real talk. Like, they need some of this good stuff. It could be you, it could be your cousins, it could be your aunties, your mama, your daddy, your son. I don't know who it is, but somebody needs to hear this. We're not playing this week. Look, we're not playing this week. When I said I'm bringing heat, I meant it. That wasn't marketing fluff. Issa, I want to thank you so much, brother, for sharing your story, man, and sharing your time with this today. Yo, look, people receive what you was putting down, bro. They receive what you're putting down, and continue to be a light. Like I said before, and I meant it, man. You literally fundamentally shifted where I'm at right now in my life. And look, man, we're linked to the glory, bro. We linked to the end. And so Issa, I want to thank you, man, for talking to my people today, man. For talking to my people. I don't know if you had any last few words, but I want to talk to people direct. But if you had any words you want to say before we part, I want to give you the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, man. Just for your audience and those that are watching, I just want to say thank you, Joe. Like, you are walking into the calling that you have over your life. There's a lot of us that feel a sense of calling. We know that God created us. We know that He designed us. We know that He gave us a purpose, right? We know that He even did that in advance before we were even born. But that is not good enough if we don't exercise that, if we don't put it into practice. And watching you do that and empowering and impacting people is very inspiring. I hope that everyone listening, that besides getting real estate, besides getting stocks, besides getting your mindset and debt reduction and all these wonderful things coming up in the next few days, that you get from this man what he's doing. Follow the model. You go out and teach. You go out and inspire. You go out and impact. You make a difference because you're amazing. There's so many great things about you, despite your past, despite your pain, despite your frustration. There's a plan for you, man. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you guys. I love you, Joe. Let's keep going.
Appreciate it, Issa. Look, I want to talk directly to my people. All right. Guys, the reason why I got into this and why we launched Nyamwange Investments last year, it was clear, man. I just wanted to see my people win. Like, straight up. This is about the liberation of Black people. I know a lot of times we read the data, we see the stats, and it looks bad. And look, everyone's situation is different. I talk to people all the time. Like I said, I talk to hundreds of people. And some people are battling with student loan debt. Some people are their marriage is in a rut because they can't get their finances together. Some people never grew up access to something. Guys, I put this free event to you this week, but I want to make clear what my mission is. My mission straight up is to create a generation, or develop and build a generation of Black millionaires operating in purpose, period. I'm unapologetic about it. I'm unapologetic in devoting my life. This is like my life work. I sacrifice time with my family. I sacrifice time with my wife. I put money into this. Why? Because I want to see our people being liberated. And that's why we created this thing called the Black Millionaire Challenge. Straight up. That's it. Kirk, if you have the flyer next to me, the Black Millionaire Challenge. I am doing a 3-day workshop, and we're going to go into depth about the things we're talking about this week from April 25th to April 27th. You could participate in the Black Millionaire Challenge by going to becomeablackmillionaire.com. If you sign up, the first 20 people to sign up, and by or the next 24 hours, whatever comes first, there's going to be $50 off for the VIP section. So just so you know, there's a difference between the two. General admissions is you're going to hear me talk for hours. We're going to go into this. VIP is where it really is at. That's where we get Q&A. We get the experts. Y'all, we need to go in and we need to get this. We need to get this freedom that we've talking about, man. The same freedom that I gave my wife when she retired. It's the same freedom that I'm working to build for myself. It's the same freedom that I want to obtain to y'all. Tomorrow, my man Stephen Ing is coming tomorrow to talk about stocks. I need y'all to be there at 6. I need to tell somebody. Anyways, guys, listen to me. I love y'all. If you are desiring to become a Black millionaire operating in purpose, what I'm telling you is give me 3 days. Give me 3 days. Tap into my mind, tap into my brain, and I'm going to show y'all how I went from a negative net worth, $100,000 in debt, to being a multi-millionaire. I'm going to handhold y'all for 3 days. And so I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Sign up right now. Look, guys, all this means nothing if you don't take action. Sign up, take action, and it's time to become a millionaire, y'all. I love y'all. Take this clip. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Let's build, y'all.
Growing up, we were told that our people were just slaves, that our contribution to the world was just in physical labor and in the cotton field. But I know a different history, a history that says we contributed to the world in areas of mathematics, science, medicine, philosophy, and most importantly, our people were wealthy. We were owners. It's time we get back to our roots. It's time we build a generation of Black millionaires who are operating in purpose, on purpose. Visit www.becomeablackmillionaire.com. And I'm going to give you the tools on how to get it done. Let's build.